We interrupt this program.
Oh, baby! A throwback roll call! Welcome to America, son! Whoa! Demon! Blah, blah, blah. Another drop door! Oh my God! Oh!
Hello and welcome to Die. It is Frame Trap for the week of September 27th. We are here at Southtown Arcade in San Francisco, California. My name is Mr. Jared, creative director of iPlayWinner, right here. The founder, the CEO. Are you in Empire yet? I don't know. Maybe we'll find out this week. It is Hunt.
Still waiting on a response from Triforce, but we'll see. Like I said, I have some good matches out there. We had a CVS2 tournament, and I won a couple there. So hopefully he was watching me this weekend play in CVS2.
Well, if you're going to restart your fighting game division, you want to start with the best.
Yeah, you know, if he sees the King of Fighters match and then the CVS2 matches, and he's still not convinced, I don't know what he wants from me. So
well, hopefully, maybe we'll have some breaking news on that sometime in the show. We have an amazingly packed show for you tonight. If you haven't heard about them, changes for Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, version 2012. A lot of character balances. We'll hear thoughts from Fudo. We'll hear thoughts from Daigo Umehara. Just a lot of really great stuff there. Also, about if I had to estimate, I'd probably say about 40 million hours of Soul Calibur 5 footage.
An endless supply.
An endless
well of footage for Soul Calibur.
Hans watched every single second of it this weekend. In fact, he is still seeing it behind his eyelids. There is so much footage. So we will get to that. Also, we're going to hear news from Ultimate NorCal versus Capcom, a really big event we have coming up next week, right here on Frame Trap. So there is a lot to get to today, including one other amazing thing that has the blow up. All right, if you guys have not heard the news, Hans, why don't you take this one away?
Well, I mean, this is probably the biggest story of the day is Team Spooky's equipment was seized by the Department of Homeland Security after coming back from T12, a tournament in Canada.
The Toronto Fighting Game Championships, number 12.
Right, so as he was crossing the border, there was a bit of a mishap, and I think we should have him live right now. Spooky, you there?
Live from his holding cell in Guantanamo Bay. It is Spooky.
Oh, hey, what's up, guys? What's up?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Not much.
All right, so a little backstory here. I don't know if I told you this, but I was actually I was on Skype with Arturo, and he's like, "Hey, I'm back in the States, but they have Spooky in holding. He's being held up at customs." And I was like, "Oh, well, that sucks." And then I guess about 2 days later, we hear this story. So you care to I guess fill us in on the details on how you ended up in this situation?
All right. Well, here's what happened. Myself and Arturo were on our way back from T12. We were on the bus or whatever, and we got in line. And as we got in line, we were kind of together or whatever. And then the security guards were scanning all the bags and all the equipment. So, they scanned Arturo's stuff first, but they made me wait. The guy was like, "No, don't put your bags up. Stand right there." So he kind of left me in the corner. And, Arturo went up first and did what he needed to do. They checked all my bags. And, of course, I had this big bag with all these wires and converters and cameras and all this stuff in it. So upon seeing that bag, the security guard immediately gets suspicious. He goes, "Well, hey, what's in this bag? What is all this?" So I told her, "Well, this is, wires, cables, cameras, stuff that I use."
Right.
So, I think that was what first started the suspicion, I guess, was when I mentioned cameras. She kind of gave me a strange look. So they brought me up to the desk and they asked me what I was doing. And I said, "Hey, I was at this tournament T12, my friend that you see right over there. We talked about the hotel we were at. They checked on my bags. I told, hey, this is my laptop. This is my clothes. This is just some wires we use. This is my cameras." So afterwards, they, she walks away for a second. They grab literally 3 more guards. All with me, and they all
because you're a super dangerous guy, right?
Yeah. I'm 5'2", and 140 pounds. So who knows what I'm gonna do? But anyway, they grab all these guards and they take me to the back, basically, or to another section, and they put me in this room with a door. Where once you're in there, there's just glass around you, and there's no way to get out. And they have the people there. So they bring me.
Is it like the scene from The Matrix with Agent Smith and Neo in the room?
I definitely felt like I was about to get interrogated. That's for damn sure. I definitely felt like something was up. So anyway, they bring me back there and they ask me some more questions. Where do you live? Who do you live with? What's your phone number? What's your roommate's phone number? All this good stuff. So I answered everything to the best of my ability. And then afterwards, they made me wait for about literally like a half hour to 45 minutes. And I think around this time, Arturo was going crazy because he was already on the bus. And I heard that he was like yelling at the bus trying to get to the stop. And he was coming back and like, hey, my friend's in there. What's going on? So shouts to Art for being like real protective. I appreciate that. He was trying to know what the hell was going on.
Right.
But anyway, afterwards, they bring me into like an interrogation room. And it's a guy and like a guard with like a billy club. And he's holding the club like looking like he's ready to...
What?
Ready to give me one. But anyway, no, I'm trolling. But no,
okay.
there was a guy and a security guard there. And
okay.
so pretty much it was the same amount of questions. Apparently this was the guy from the Department of Homeland Security. Same questions, why were you here? What were you doing? What's your address? At that point, they informed me, hey, Spooky, we're keeping your cameras, your laptop, and your cell phone. And at that point, I asked why. And they said, well, because. And I'm like, what do you mean because? You know what I mean? I'm just here traveling. Can you at least tell me why you're going to keep my stuff? And they're like, well, I can't go over all of federal law, but basically we're keeping it upon suspicion that you may have contraband. And I'm like, well, what do you mean by contraband? What could possibly be on there? And he's like, well, again, I'm not going to explain to you federal law. I'm like, what? Is it like alcohol and drug references? Because I'll tell you right now, sure, there's stuff like that on there. No problem. I'll open up the laptop for you and show you everything on it. By all means, you can see all my porn. You can see all the videos for T12, whatever you like. I'll show you everything right now.
All the Hitomi Tanaka clips?
So, whatever, exactly, man.
Yeah.
Lexi Bell, all that good stuff.
So clearly this is the worst blow up that you've had while traveling to events, but you've traveled to a ton of tournaments, streamed a lot of events that are far out. Is this a typical situation that kind of happens when you travel, when you have to take your equipment through airport security, or in this case it was bus security?
No, I mean, they have given me a hard time before, but not because they were concerned that I had anything illegal with my equipment. For example, when I went to Canada Cup, they stopped me, but that was because I told them I was going there to stream an event, and they were like, well, listen, you're from America, but you're coming to work in Canada. You can't just do this. You have to pay for a license. Yeah. So I paid for a license, no problem. The Canada Cup guys handled it, and everybody was a sport about it. I'm totally fine with that. That's no big deal. I'm all about staying legal. But in this case, I feel like I didn't really do anything suspicious that necessarily needed suspicion. They just felt, whether it was my turn to be up for the random search or whether it was something else, they felt they needed to check my stuff. And I mean, I was totally cooperative and willing, but at the same time, I was like, dude, we've got these huge events coming up. This is my lifeblood. This is how I pay the rent. Can you cut a guy a break here? No sympathy whatsoever. I was like, dude, I'm willing to pay to get my stuff back faster.
Yeah, I mean, it's
no sympathy.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this, like, all jokes aside, this whole thing is completely insane. I mean, we have, like, a global economy on the brink of collapse, and here they are, like, going over, going after, guys like you are just basically just trying to make an honest living, and I know firsthand experience, barely, trying to do this stuff, and it's just, to me, it's a really horrible situation, and I'm actually surprised more people aren't like completely outraged about this just in general, because when this came up, I did a little bit of research. I was looking on some different forums and different websites and different articles, and apparently this is really common. This isn't like this one time thing. Yeah. I was reading that a lot of times when you go out of the country, it's fine. There's no problems. You just do what you need to do, as long as you have your passport and stuff. But when you come back, when you do have stuff like like a camera or a laptop, they can just scoop it up for really no reason. And it's really the same if I came to your house and just said, hey, Spooky, I'm going to just take your laptop and, copy all your files over, check them out, just see what I think. And, your cameras too. I'm just going to hold on to these files. You might get your equipment back, in 30 days, not really too sure, but, don't really have a reason for it. I'm just going to do it. And there's not really, much you can do about it.
There's no repercussions. There's nothing you can do. I was even like, dude, I'll open up the laptop and you can take the drive out and you can have it and just give me the laptop. I'll go buy a new drive. And if you find anything illegal on there, I mean, obviously I didn't tell him this in these words. I see Arturo blowing me up in the stream chat, but you know what I mean? I was like, I'll give you the drive and you can have it. Just let me take the laptop so I can do my job when I get home.
Right.
They didn't care, man.
So this is your livelihood. I mean, this is what you do. In the same for like just journalists, activists. This is for someone who covers events, not even just fighting game events, but like political events or whatever. Who they do a lot of traveling. They're taking away your livelihood, and this is. I mean, that's pretty bad, man. And
that's rough. Laptops are expensive, dude. It's not cheap to just go. Oh well, I lost a laptop. Let me run and get another one. All is okay. It's expensive. Costs money. Well,
my question is, who the hell do we keep? Or do we keep like accountable for this? I mean, who do we like? I mean, it's just like a bunch of guys in suits and like, I like you said, the guy says, well, I'm not going to go over the entire law with you because of this. I mean, but
it's kind of an important thing.
Yeah, it's really important. Yeah. And again, who do we hold accountable for things like this? This is insane. This goes beyond just like fighting games, but just again like covering events, journalism for activists. Going to other countries and trying to cover things like this. And God forbid you go to Canada to like stream a video game tournament. I don't know. It's a really really bad situation. But so you mentioned in your video too that you are but you are moving forward with seasons beatings and so you are going to stream that. But Min is going to take over Gar Crush and some of your other responsibilities in the meantime. Is that right?
Yes, temporarily, Min is going to handle Guard Crush for a bit. We've already been talking about how we're going to handle tomorrow's, and I'm going to let him handle that in his own style, so he's going to do whatever he wants. I'm going to give him some advice and help him out if he needs help, but if not, he's going to... And I think Guard Crush will be fun with Min handling it for a little while till I get everything sorted out, so it's okay. As far as my personal streams, again, I'm taking a break, but that's not because, hey, I'm frustrated or anything like that. Yeah. I'm just taking a break so that I can make sure that with what I have available, I can make sure that Seasons Beatings is the best possible experience.
Right. Okay. And I got to be honest with you. You're actually, even when I talked to you this morning about the whole situation, when I found out about it, I mean, you're taking this like really well. I have to say, like you're. Was there a point where you were like really frustrated and really angry? I'm assuming there was, but right now you seem pretty like cool, calm, collected, and not too upset about it. But I mean, how do you feel overall about just the situation?
Obviously, I'm very upset because I feel that I feel that I tried to be as cooperative as possible, and I tried to explain to them, hey, this is what I do, you know what I mean? And I tried to tell them, well, listen, I tried to be as cooperative as possible. I was willing to show them everything on a laptop, everything on the cameras, whatever they needed, and from reading on Google and from reading what other people say, they're supposed to have a little bit more suspicion than that, I think, to actually seize your stuff. They can ask you to open up your laptop and, hey, can you show me what's on it? But I think they actually have to at least see that there's something possibly illegal on there before they turn around and decide to say, hey, we've got to take this stuff. But
do you think it was blowup.avi? I
have no idea. Maybe it's the giant skull, logo that I have on the laptop or whatever. Who knows? You know what I mean?
So I got one last question for you here, Spooky, before we let you go. Let's unfortunately assume the worst for a moment. Let's say you don't get your equipment back. Where do you go from there?
Well, at this point, to be honest, at T12 and at a few past events, the donators in general have been really, helpful to me. And I mean, I'm not going to go as far as say as we had like a surplus sitting around, but we were okay for a while after T12. Mm-hmm. So the way I saw at that point the way I see it at this point is worst case scenario, we may do what we have. And then, once some more ad revenue comes in very soon, then, we'll just pick up another laptop, another couple of cameras, and we'll be in there. So this is not like an insurmountable loss for us, but it definitely does, it's definitely a major setback, at least for the next month or two. So,
and I think that's just why the fighting game community is so awesome. I've seen even on forums and just all across the internet, people have been coming to your aid with donations and stuff, trying to help you get back on your feet. So.
I will say that there is one person that's being super super helpful with this, but I don't know if he wants to be mentioned yet, so I won't really talk about it. But I will say that there's one person in particular that's looking to help out in a way that may bring us back on our feet a lot faster. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about, and I think they're always looking out for not only us but the community at large. So kudos to them. Maybe if they allow us to reveal their identity, or you can make a follow up post on.
If they give me permission to, I'm definitely shouting them out. But I don't know that I have their permission to do that yet. So.
Well, any final words? Any advice for people traveling abroad in situations like this? Anything you want to leave the stream with right now in the show?
The main and most important thing is, number one, to stay calm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Understand that, hey, this is a crappy situation, but these things happen. These guys aren't doing this because they're the evil empire and they want to fuck everybody over. Obviously, they're doing this because they're concerned about the security of our nation, whether they understand how computers really work or they don't understand. Who knows? And the other thing is just always have a backup plan. For example, even in this case, we still have my old desktop and some old cameras around and all that stuff. So always have a backup plan. That's the most important thing.
All right, Spooky, thank you so much for coming on. The best of luck to you. I think everybody, not just us, but everybody in the community is really pulling for you, and we really hope for the best.
Thanks, Jared. See you later, man.
Yeah, have a good night. All right, you guys, when we come back, Soul Calibur 5, we're going to show you 40 hours of footage. So put your pizza rolls in the oven because this is going to be a long one. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Frame Trap here on iPlayWinner TV. Thank you so much for sticking with us for the next hour. Before we get into Soul Calibur, I just had one quick thing I wanted to bring up here. Frame Trap, we're all about the community. We're all about giving people shout-outs and props when they're due. So when we first began the show, our first episode, we came back from Penny Arcade Expo. We talked about our experiences. One thing I didn't get to mention was that I got something really cool from a really exceptional artist, Jeffrey Cruz, better known as Chamba from Udon Comics. Mm-hmm. I met him a couple years ago at Comic-Con.
Did he work on HE Remix by chance, or no?
For his sake, I will say he didn't. But you probably know him best from these little guys right here, the Kid Robot Street Fighter toys there.
Oh, he did those?
Yep.
Yeah,
he was he originally designed those. Okay. And so I met him at Penny Arcade Expo, and I asked him to draw me something very special, my team for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. And I just got this back just now. He sent it from Australia. I have it right here. We got Bear Trap. He drew me poison surfing along there on Kuma.
That's easily one of the coolest drawings I've ever seen. You actually sent it to me the other night, and I was like, wow, that is really awesome. Really, really well done.
Yeah,
I mean, everything about it, just the shading and just I just can't think of any better way to
immortalize these fine characters that pretty much have nothing to do with each other. Yeah. So thank you so much to Chamba. He is an amazing guy. And if you want to see more of his works of art, you can see him at lastguions.deviantart.com and at randomboost.com. So there we go. Moving on. Mm-hmm. Soul Calibur 5 this past weekend over in France. Mad Catz and also their sponsored player, the always incredible Keone, hosted a special invitational only event for Soul Calibur 5. It was they allowed players to play the Tokyo Game Show demo of Soul Calibur 5, and those guys streamed and recorded and uploaded so much footage of that game.
I think it was a 2-day event. I think on Friday, Kayane had sort of like an invitational kind of session / tournament, and there's a lot of footage of that event on Soul Calibur, the YouTube channel. And then on Sunday, they had another tournament. It was called the Nose Core. I'm probably butchering that once again, but the Nose Core tournament, where they had some other top players. And so a lot of media has surfaced recently for the game, and some really it's good to see some high-level play. I mean, not that I really know what high-level Soul Calibur play looks like, but
at least not anymore, because it's been so long since we've seen the game. And Soul Calibur 4 was at higher levels, a bit goofier than what I think the past games were at. Mm-hmm. But I believe we should have some footage of Soul Calibur.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. And so let's see here. So this is Kayane playing. I apologize. I forget who the other player is, but she's playing Natsu. What I thought was really interesting, it may not be this round, but it seems like they have a lot of the characters in this game seem to have a lot of I guess I don't know the word is supernatural kind of abilities. Like you'll see that she has this really cool teleport, and there's some other videos of one of the newer characters, Zoe, who has that sort of avatar.
Yeah, he's straight out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah,
right. And again, I'm not a huge Soul Calibur expert.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on there? Hey, chat. Yeah. I'm not a huge Soul Calibur expert. See, that teleport right there, I don't know if you guys caught that. But I don't remember the past games having a lot of these again like supernatural kind of attacks and moves. It seemed like it was there's a lot of like flair to the attacks, but it seems like they're really taking things above and beyond, and it's really over the top this time around.
Yeah, I mean I definitely agree with that. Also, Canning on Twitter was talking about how Siegfried is definitely looking to be a strong character. I would not doubt that, since Nightmare was always a very strong character in the previous games, and they've always those two characters always really played off each other. My question to you is, having watched a lot of this, admittedly very early footage of Soul Calibur 5, what are your kind of thoughts on the game? Did this does it improve your thoughts on the game? Or
the new footage, definitely. I think what I saw in the past, it was either like stage demos or people just kind of messing around with the game, and it looked a little slower. But again, I don't really know what high level like Soul Calibur play looks like. But watching these videos, obviously they're moving a lot quicker. They're attacking a lot faster. And it looks like a fairly fast paced game. While in some of the previous videos, it looked a little slow to me. Right. But I think these videos that came out over the weekend, definitely changed my opinion on the game overall. And then an interview. I don't think we have footage of the interview, but an interview that Kayane also conducted with what's his guy name? Daishi Odashima. Yeah, the director of Soul Calibur 5. She did an interview with him at EVO, and Versus Fighting TV released that interview. I guess it was last week, and he was saying that they're trying to make the game a little bit more approachable for beginners, and they're making some of the more difficult moves like just frame attacks. They're widening the input window and making some of the extremely difficult moves a little easier to perform.
Right. It kind of sounds like taking a bit of an influence from Street Fighter 4 with easy inputs. Hopefully, it doesn't get to the point. Hopefully they did play Street Fighter 4 and they know not to make them a little too easy. Because sometimes you get things like tap down forward twice to Shoryuken and other kind of mistakes here. Your impression of watching these videos of Soul Calibur 5 a bit more positive than mine. I was a really big Soul Calibur fan with the first two games, and then of course, like a lot of other people, it lost me with the third and fourth installments. I really want to like this series again. I really do. Oh, and something that we're seeing here. This is an example of a kind of like a Tekken Endless stage, I believe, like no ring outs.
Oh, that's what it looks like, right?
Yeah, you can tell again. You can tell this footage is early because this it's got this weird parallax scrolling thing kind of going on that they clearly need to clean up there. Also, whenever a character throw text, it looked really just kind of goofy. To be honest, like I said, I want Soul Calibur to be good again. I want it to be exciting again. It's looking a lot just like Soul Calibur 4 to me, and I was not a fan of Soul Calibur 4. It's like, it does have more kind of supernatural elements, like the characters, like almost like more I guess traditional fighting game mechanics, like Mitsurugi's doing like Terry Bogard power wave, stuff like that. Like, so characters throwing fireballs and teleporting, and there's ghosts coming in. Right. So it sounds like they are trying to modernize it. But which is kind of which is a little funny when you think about it, because when Soul Calibur originally debuted, even back when it was Soul Edge, that was a very modern fighting game. It had a lot of great new ideas. It was completely different. So now it's almost like this is a series that is trying to follow the leaders, which is very weird because it was at one point it could be considered the leaders, at the very least amongst 3D fighters.
Well, and I think we said in the previous show, there's definitely I guess regardless of what our opinion is of the game, there's obviously a community out there that's really hungry for this game and is really hyped for it. So I know they're really excited to see the game, but of course. But shout outs to 8wayrun.com and Malice from 8wayrun.com. He actually tipped me off on that last video. It was just a couple of top players from France playing. So you can go to iplaywinner.com. There, the article's a couple pages back, but you can find a lot of footage of Soul Calibur 5 if you want to see more. And again, there are so many videos. There's like 50 videos, and they're like 3 minutes each, so it'll keep you busy for a while. But again, check it out. You'll see that a lot of the characters do have some pretty interesting moves, and again, it's
It's like our Ebert and Roper moment, where like thumbs up, thumbs down.
Hey, I was thumbs down for a little bit. Like I said, with some of those stage demos, I was like, this isn't really doing it for me. But now that I see again in the hands of some top players and some of these more supernatural moves,
experienced players, I guess.
Yeah.
We don't know what top play in Soul Calibur 5 is yet.
Yeah, but I mean, with me, I don't know if I'll end up playing the game competitively, but it's good to see that it seems like the players who are excited for it are at least able to get their hands on it and spend some time with it.
Okay,
so,
all right. Then to be fair, I will give it the Zangief, and hopefully when the game comes out, Odashima will come to my home and be like, "There you go, buddy." All right. So speaking of fighting games that are way off in the future, when we come back, we will be talking about some other fighting games that are being delayed. They're getting kicked down the road a bit more. Some of which we are very excited about, and some of which are fighting games, and so we will discuss them when we come back. All right, welcome back to Frame Trap, you guys. Quick apology here for the lag spike. Something kind of out of the ordinary here. We actually found out the stream was about 2 minutes behind what was actually going on here. Very out of the ordinary, so apologize for that. Hopefully this quick restart cleared everything up. So earlier last week, I received a very interesting email from one Brian Yee at Boot Games. It turns out Brian had made a fighting game on Xbox Live Indie Games. Now, typically, when you hear Xbox Live Indie Games, you just kind of you turn around and you walk away. But he was like, "Hey, I heard you like fighting games, and so I made one." And I was like, "All right, cool, let's check this out." So the name of the game is Avatar Fighter Online. He sent me a download code. He just wanted me to check it out, and I got to say, pretty cool little game. It's kind of you pick your character, you pick your avatar, you select your moves. Like you can customize the moves of all the characters in the game. So like you can they have a dive kick. So of course, all right, well dive kicks are broken in every game. Like all I want is dive kick and fireball, and it kind of plays like Mortal Kombat, but with a really wide open juggle system.
And this is a viewer of the show of Frame Trap, right?
He is now. But no, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to this guy because for all the fighting games out there are so many tools out there today that if you are interested, if you are watching Soul Calibur 5 and you're like, I could do better than this, well, guess what? It's not that it's easy to learn how to play games, but it's never been more accessible to make games because you can you can join XNA, you can make an iOS game, garage development has really never been more accessible here.
Was Poop Diddy Doo? That was the guy's
name?
Yep,
that guy's name was Poop Diddy Doo. All right.
So you use your avatar to fight here. All right, that's kind of cute. I guess.
Yeah. And you know what? I was so hyped for this. Actually, I made a little combo and I recorded it. So if you guys want to see that after the show, I'll upload it. Go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/frametrap, and you can find this. You can find this on the Xbox Live Indie Games Marketplace. Look up Avatar Maker and, of course, bootgames.com. So shout out to Brian Yee for taking initiative, making his own fighting game. Speaking of people who took the initiative to make their own fighting game their own way, Skullgirls. Skullgirls has been delayed until 2012.
And this was announced just yesterday. I think it was on their official blog. They announced that they're taking some time to polish up the game to take it from good to great. And they listed a bunch of details and things they're adding to the game. They said they're making it faster. One thing I thought was really
10% faster.
10% faster. And one thing that really caught my eye was they have this accidental pause prevention option where if you turn it on, you have to hold the pause button for 15 frames before it'll go to the menu, which is, that's really good for tournaments and I guess with Schoolgirls, there's a lot of things. That
and 15 frames is very respectable because that's actually longer than most of the panty shots in the game, so it's actually quite generous.
Yeah. So I think they're adding in a lot of stuff that I think most people agree that we'd like to see in Capcom fighting games and whatnot.
We're talking about pause options, right?
The pause options,
okay.
Yeah. And they have some other cool stuff in there. But to be honest with you, I wasn't really surprised. They had announced 6 characters so far, I think it was, and they said that it was going to be out come the the end of this year, I think it was, and it was creeping up. We didn't really see, too much more footage, or it seems like media was kind of drying up with some of the characters.
Well, they do. I believe they do a stream each Friday. They kind of do like a Friday night Skullgirl thing, like with the developers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Sorry.
Oh, Skullgirls is always a blow up. Hey. Requested color palettes. Hey, guess what, buddy? You were looking forward to Skullgirl? I bet you are. Delayed to 2012. We're throwing some new colors. No, you know what? They actually did throw in, the additional music. The backgrounds are being, I guess, converted into 3D. So,
oh, really?
Yeah,
okay, I didn't.
Yeah,
okay, I glazed over that, I guess.
Very big list. Yeah. So, Skullgirls is a video game. Comes out 2012.
You're not. I know you're not sold on it yet. You're not sold on it.
Hey, so
why not? Let's hear your reasoning. Because I know you've been sort of alluding to this over the past few episodes, but I just want to hear your main reason. Is it the artwork? Is it?
Yo, you know what? I'm like Cyclops. He got his visor knocked off. He's like, I can't see. I can't. Someone get me my visor. Like, you know what? Hey, you know what else got delayed? Something that you actually care quite a lot about. Something that I care a lot about. We're not going to go into this too deep, but also King of Fighters 13. Whoa. King of Fighters 13 also delayed. But that was just pushed back to November 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, it was about a month, and but it was back to back. Like one day after another, we had two delays there, and there's a lot of rumors on the internet that King of Fighters was being delayed. And I was going to post something, but I was like, I don't know if it's true. You never really, you don't want to believe everything you read on the internet. But a video came out today. Atlas USA released a video, and at the end, here it is. There you go. King of Fighters 13, and has some of the anime sequences and stuff. But towards the end, it says November 22nd is the release date for the game. It was originally slated for the end of October, I think like October 25th, 26th, or something like that. So, it's kind of strange to delay it a month. I mean, maybe you would know like why a company would delay a game just a month. I'm not really too sure.
When does Modern Warfare come out?
Around the same time, right? Like November. I mean, there's a lot of games coming around.
There is no non-sleeper week in the video game industry from now until Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all hope that it's maybe they're making some last-minute tweaks to the net code or something that's something really important like that. I mean, as you guys know, I love this game. I think it's awesome. I know a lot of people have been waiting to get their hands on it, but again, a little confused as to why just the month delay. Again, I can't really come up with any sort of. I just don't know what they could accomplish in a month.
You know what I hope it is. I hope that demand for this game was so high that they were like, "Oh God, we better print like 2 million more copies of this game to satiate demand for King of Fighters."
Maybe it might be something like that,
or maybe to print out or
more CDs.
More CDs.
Yeah. So November 22nd. You can read more about the game at iplaywinner.com. Then Atlas, of course, has their own site for the game. So 2 games have been delayed. Skullgirls, it said early 2012, and then you'll have to wait about another couple months to get your hands on King of Fighters 13.
Yeah. So moving on. Hey, guess what? Knock, knock. Oh, hey, who's there? It's your good friend Arc System Work. Oh, Arc System Work, what'd you bring for me today? Was it Guilty Gear 3? You big dummy. It's more DLC for Blaze Blue. Blaze Blue extends,
Extends?
It extends, it's, if this is... Arc, they're releasing Blaze Blue Extend,
Extends?
Blaze Blue : Continuum Shift Extend.
Yeah.
So this is actually a growing trend in the games industry. When you release a game that actually has a lot of DLC, typically then you re-release it to include all that DLC at a lower price, typically.
Right.
So this is Blaze Blue Continuum Shift 2, includes all the DLC plus more DLC.
Well, so if you're not familiar with Continuum Shift Extend, it's a game that has Makoto, Platinum, and I forget the other character's name, but there's 3 DLC characters, and so they're re-releasing it, but they're also adding another character, Relius Clover.
Yes.
I think
Carl's dad.
Carl's old man. Yeah.
Why do I know that?
Yeah, he's joining the fight, so he'll be included with the game, but
also additional elements of the story mode, but the biggest feature, I know how you feel about that. Hans believes that story mode maybe not one of the most compelling features. I argue that amongst Blaze Blues fans, it actually probably is a rather important feature.
There are a lot of fans of the series who actually say the story's pretty awesome. But personally, I never play fighting games with stories, so I don't know. They said that that's also a part of Extend is they are they have like different story modes and stuff like that. Stuff that I really don't care about, but I don't know. I personally haven't really been into BlazBlue, recently, but again, I know there are a lot of fans out there. It's coming out for 360, PS3, and also Vita.
Yes.
And the producer Toshi Michimori, he said there's new DLC, but he didn't say whether or not it's
right.
new characters or not. He just said there's more DLC on the way, so could be stages, could be more stories and different branching paths of story mode, which would be a complete waste of everybody's time.
Maybe this behold maybe they saw Capcom selling colors for a Third Strike and they were like, you can do that?
But I mean, is anybody really surprised? I mean, big news, more DLC coming. Yeah. So
does any fighting game have more DLC? I think the only fighting game that rivals it would be Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Mortal Kombat has more characters.
Probably. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
That's a blow up. Yeah. All right. So when we come back, I'm going to go get my anime hug pillow, and we are going to move on. We will be talking about Super Street Fighter 4 2012 character changes. I'm just going to go hug it out with the giant life-size pillow when we come back. Stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back to Frame Trap, your number one source for anime fighting games. Yeah, we're going to talk about...
Hardly.
So, new patch for Immaterial and Missing Power today. No, actually, balance changes for Super Street Fighter 4, Arcade Edition version .2012. Just about every character has been announced at this point, like for character changes.
Yeah.
I think that we should just kind of instead of going over the giant list of changes, because it is quite.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. This was actually released, I think, during our show last week. So I'm sure a lot of you guys had a chance to look things over. To my understanding, what was going on here is the most recent location test. I think this was a NSB they had. And there's some stream footage and whatnot. But they had really toned down like some of the characters. I think like Yun and Yang, and really slowed down like their command grab and some other stuff. And this new revision here is they're bringing some of those nerfs. Or they're adjusting some of those nerfs, making the characters, not overpowered, but just pulling back to where it was before. So I think that's good that they're not saying, okay, this is the final say on a lot of these changes.
Right.
We're making them really weak on purpose, seeing how it pans out, and then bringing some of the stuff back. But there is a truckload of changes here.
Yeah, I think we should probably just maybe point out some of the most notable here. A lot of the most controversial change, which was kind of surprising. The first time I heard it, I actually wasn't. It was kind of like one of those not sure if serious moments. Would be Ryu, his fierce Shoryuken can no longer be FADC'd, can no longer be focus tagged out.
Yeah, and it's let's see here,
which is, and the idea is it does more damage, but it can't be FADC'd, which increases the risk reward. Yeah. I believe that is what they're thinking. But why do we limit only this one strength of this one move to be like, yeah, you know what, you cannot do that?
Yeah, because for Oni, it's all his uppercuts. You can't FADC on block, I think it is. Yeah, on block. So to me, it was kind of strange that they just took the fierce version and
because if you do that, why not just across the board? But then
he couldn't do FADC.
He couldn't do the
Metsu Hadouken. So I don't know. I guess I've seen it in action, but as far as I know, he can do like crouching medium kick, EX fireball, FADC forward, and then do his Metsu Shuriken now, which I think had like some really specific timing or spacing on the previous games. Okay. But Daigo still unimpressed, not going to be playing Ryu, as he said easily. Yeah, you can change his Shuriken all you want, but I'm still not playing him, I guess.
We had this discussion. I honestly I wish Daigo would just go back to Ryu. Because while he did make top 8 at Evo with Yun, when you watch him play Yun, it's kind of like, yeah, that's Yun. Like that's how it goes. You know,
Yeah,
there's nothing really unique about it.
Yeah, and I think I have to agree. You know, when you see Daigo play like Ryu, and you see like the ume uppercuts and stuff, it's almost that classic kind of Daigo play style. But when he plays Yun, it's like, okay, well that's sort of like bog standard Yun. I mean, it's really solid. It's great play, but it's. I don't know. It just doesn't. You know, maybe you just don't really get that same sort of excitement that you see when he's playing like Shoto. So
it's just straight up not exciting to watch.
Yeah. So there have been rumors that he picked up an Akuma card. He's going to be maybe switching over to Akuma. Who knows? But
because in Japan for arcade edition, you get a little card, you put your character on it, and that's what keeps all your win loss records. Also, personally speaking, I looked at Chun-Li's changes and. Nothing to really make me go like, oh, I'm gonna pick this game back up again. Like the hard kick version of spinning bird kick does a little bit more damage. Like, okay.
I think for some characters, it's more significant than others.
Yeah.
Of course, like some of the stuff with Sagat. The crouching medium punch. So the hitbox has been enlarged towards Sagat's base, fixing a problem that caused the whiff against certain crouching opponents.
Well, that's good.
That's cool. All right, it's like just give me his far standing light kick.
No,
back.
No.
Give me the stuff that I want here, Capcom. For Sagat,
you can't get that back.
But one interesting thing that also. Came up recently, and I think it was before like all a lot of the changes, a lot of the details came about the version 2012 changes. Is Fudo, the Evo 2011 champion? He mentioned in an interview with Famitsu that he could care less about these.
The Evo 2011 champion is just like meh. That's his exact reaction. It's like, hey guys, you know what? Not for me. Not really. Not feeling this, guys.
Yeah, he says that He says that the core, I guess he feels the core gameplay isn't really going to change that much.
Right. And he's absolutely correct. Like, this is not going to turn Street Fighter 4 into a different game.
Yeah, and I think people, depending on which character you play, there's going to be people who are like, oh, yeah, this game's great because my character's better. I don't like this game as much because my character got nerfed, whatever the case may be. But he mentioned that he would rather Capcom focus their efforts on, like, a Street Fighter 5 or, like, a completely new game. And, I definitely agree to a certain degree. I agree with him there, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of players out there who feel like, okay, we definitely need one last tweak for AE to and just leave us with that finalized version.
Right,
of the
because
game,
that's we talked about that last week. How the reason why I think people wanted 2012 is because you just don't want to leave that game the way Arcade Edition is. It's just not a lot of fun to play. Not particularly thrilling.
At the same time, though, if I won Evo with this version of the game, I probably wouldn't want him to change anything either. I'd be like, hey, I won Evo. I'm the world champion here at Evo. Don't touch the game. Don't change it at all. Don't change it. It's fine.
Well, are you ready for a Street Fighter 5, or do you feel like we could wait another couple years and live off Cross Tekken and Marvel and all this other stuff?
That's a really loaded question. Like Street Fighter 5. I mean, that definitely brings up a lot of different discussions.
Hey, I have a great idea. All right, Capcom, if you're listening, here's my pitch for Street Fighter 5. Okay, you take, and this is my esports pitch. You take the game Urban Reign from Namco, right? Mm-hmm. Right, and you combined it with League of Legends. Yeah. Or how about this? Let's take Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and let's put a rewind mechanic in it.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait, that's already been pitched.
Wait, yeah. Wasn't that supposed to be Street Fighter 4? So what we're talking about. Others don't. But Street Fighter 5, I mean, I'm sure I obviously want it. I'd love to check it out with improved graphics. I think one thing, and I know graphics isn't the most important thing, but I feel like Street Fighter 4 definitely looks a little dated compared to some other fighting games on the market, like even Mortal Kombat. Marvel looks super super crisp, super clean. I'm kind of with Fudo in the sense that I think he's like, well, how much is really gonna change I think it's just a shame that they really just didn't stick with Super, which was fine. You know, the game was fine. I think at the end of the day, they probably should have just released that for arcade, and then they ended up adding in the new characters and all the changes, and then ended up with a product where a lot of the players weren't as happy about it.
Yeah,
so.
and we do kind of I guess we hate a bit on Arcade Edition and whatnot, but the thing is that it all does come from a place of love. Like, I love Street Fighter 4, I loved Super. I enjoy the pace of the game. I enjoy the mechanics. Not a fan of the Okazemi game, because it's an Oki game, a wake up game that punishes you for getting that knockdown. It's like you have less options to punish people, and it kind of affects the pacing of the game. Despite all that, I do love the core elements of Street Fighter 4, and that's why when Arcade Edition came out and it just kind of threw everything for a loop, it took all the goodwill that was built up with the series. I remember saying when Street Fighter 4 originally launched in arcades, I was like, this was Capcom's best first effort, because usually their first like Street Fighter 2 World Warrior, the original Street Fighter Alpha, X-Men vs Street Fighter, all these first attempts at new styles of fighting games, they all typically you wait till the next one, and they're all typically kind of wonky in some way. Where vanilla Street Fighter 4 was like, if there was never an update to it, it's like, okay, I could live with this.
You even compare like vanilla Street Fighter to games like like Third Strike, or the third in a series.
Oh,
and it's
yeah, New Generation was just
and you compare the two, and you're like, well, vanilla was fairly balanced in as much complaining as people do about Sagat.
Yeah.
It's but obviously I think Capcom's trying their best to right their wrongs here with this new update, and as far as I know, this is even the final list of changes.
Right. I believe they still do have some location testing to do.
Yeah. So I think there's probably going to be even some more adjustments coming down the line. What's really cool about all this, though, is that all these changes are being posted directly to CapcomUnity.com now. So we used to have to wait around for
someone to translate it.
Someone to translate it and whatnot. But now Capcom Unity is just taking the reins and giving it right to us, which I think is awesome. So.
Right. All right, you guys, when we come back, heading into the home stretch here, we're going to learn all about Ultimate NorCal vs. Capcom coming here to Frame Trap, so please stay tuned. All right, welcome back to Frame Trap. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us for this past hour. We had a lot of laughs. We had a good time. Maybe some people got upset. I don't know.
Well, I think a few people are upset at you.
You know what, though?
I'm going to get the answer out of you one of these days.
Maybe one day.
Okay.
Maybe one day we will go full bore atomic blast, and we will settle this once and for all. But we got much more important things to get to before we leave. First off, we have a Facebook page. Holy crap. For the past couple weeks, we've been we've been worrying about how we're going to get people the information on the show, where are we going to link them to, what's going on. We got a Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/frametrap. Like it today. You get an exclusive video about this wonderful place around us, Southtown Arcade, located in San Francisco, California. It's an amazing place. We went, we shoved the camera in people's faces. We told them, tell us what you think.
That was this weekend, right? Actually, at the Rambat,
I shot it the same day I put it up because I wanted it in for the show. So, again, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/frametrap. Tell all your friends, tell your dog. It's cool. Facebook don't mind if you have a dog account. My girlfriend does.
Well, we're putting a lot of, I'd say exclusive posts and content, a lot of kind of funny, silly stuff up there that doesn't really make even the front page of iPlayWinner.
Yeah.
As Jared mentioned, there's a video that you get to see that gives you a breakdown of Southtown just for liking the page. But I'd say keep an eye on it either way, because we post a bunch of goofy videos on there already, like Bubble Pop and stuff like that. So, anyhow, next week's Frame Trap is going to be special episode. It's like a Doctor Who holiday special, except it's not a holiday. There's no Doctor Who, and it's not in the UK, and no special effects. All right, it's a special episode of Frame Trap Ultimate NorCal versus Capcom. What does that mean? Well, this is an episode that you won't want to miss. It's not going to be 40 minutes and an hour long. I think we're going to be going pretty much like
12 hours.
12 hours long. But what this is this is a special invite only Ultimate Marvel Marvel vs. Capcom 3 tournament. We're taking the top players here in NorCal. We're bringing them to an undisclosed location, and we're going to run a single elimination tournament. And really, my goal here is to get the game in the hands of top players, players who have spent time with the game, say at like PAX or like Comic-Con. I don't know, like all the events that it's been at, but they've had some time with the game, and they understand some of the changes to the characters and whatnot. So we're also going to have special guests from Capcom. Somebody told me that Seth Killian will be making an appearance here.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and to do a little commentary, talk about not only Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, but another game that they have.
Are you telling me that we might cross the line and perhaps have other games that are not Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, but maybe other franchises that are doing battle against one another?
Possibly, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
is it the long-awaited? Oh, dude, are we getting Darkstalkers versus Guilty Gear? Sega versus Sammy?
Not even close.
Versus Sammy?
Not even close. Well, maybe kind of close. But so yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have special guests from Capcom, top players from all over NorCal here. Again, we made this post on iPlayWinner recently, and I was looking at some of the comments around the internet, and there's a lot of people on there like, "Wow, sounds awesome! I'll definitely be there." Sorry, you won't. Yeah, you won't be here. Unless I talk to you personally, you probably aren't going to be here. And it's not because we don't like it. It's just because of space restrictions. I know Capcom's been planning all sorts of events around their games. I know Fight Club just happened to LA, so there's definitely a lot of events open to the public for the game. But this is more for, I think, like stream monsters who are looking for high level play and want to learn more about Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. So that's going to be next week's 7 p.m. Is when we're going to kick things off, and so tune in then, and we're going to go, I guess, as long as Seth will let us play, I guess. So, but yeah, it should be an awesome event. Check iPlayWinner.com either tomorrow or the next day for a few more details, and I think that's about it.
All right, guys. So tune in next week. We're going to ghost ride the whip here. Ultimate NorCal vs. Capcom. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/frametrap. Follow me on Twitter @Jared. Follow this guy @Hans. iPlayWin.com @iPlayWinner.
iPlayWinner.
iPlayWinner everywhere on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Beepo, MySpace, Friendster, everywhere.
Yeah. Check out our band on MySpace.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. We will see you next week, Tuesday, 7:00 Pacific. We out.
Here's the thing that makes life so interesting. The theory of evolution claims that only the strong shall survive. Maybe so. Maybe so. But the theory of competition says just because they're the strong doesn't mean they can't get their asses kicked. That's right. See, what every long shot, come from behind underdog will tell you is this. The other guy may in fact be the favorite. The odds may be stacked against you, fair enough. But what the odds don't know is that this isn't a math test. This is a completely different kind of test. One where passion has a funny way of trumping logic. So before you step up to the fighting stick, before the start button is hit and the clock starts ticking, just remember out here, the results don't always add up. No matter what the stats may say and the experts may think, and what the commentators may have predicted, when the fight is on, all bets are off. Don't be surprised if someone decides to flip the script and take a pass on yelling uncle. And then, suddenly, as the old saying goes, we've got ourselves a real match.
again.